Hello everyone, welcome back to my show Tip to Tea. I'm your host Angie E, where we talk about everything from motivational, inspirational, and of course the tea. So tune in every Monday on my YouTube channel and Can TV to watch all previous episodes. Let me introduce today's topic. Today's topic will be strong versus weak. Now that can be, I'll say strong women versus weak women, stronger person, man, woman, it doesn't matter. Anyway, that is today's topic, strong versus the weak. Okay, so here's the deal. And I had a girlfriend, she called me. We talked this evening, yesterday evening, I'm sorry. We talked about when we were younger. We were teenagers. We've been friends since, I'll say, junior high. I'll say probably 7th, 8th grade. And we talk pretty often. And she asked me, which was very, very interesting. She said, Andrew, you remember when we were young, we were teenagers, and we were going through a little something, rather if it was some things we was, going through in our personal life. And we would always tell each other, girl, stay strong. You can do this, you're a strong woman. And we were like, okay. So that was so refreshing at that time. It was so revitalizing. It was like, okay, you know what? Man, that gives me hope. I can do this. I can get through this, So we were talking, like I said, the other day, and she would tell me, she said, Angie, when we would talk about that, I didn't know what I was saying. And I say me either, but I knew it felt good to just hear someone say, especially after going through something, or, we're still, like I said, 8th grade, 9th grade or whatever, and we call ourselves, okay, we're going through problems, which we didn't really have any problems. We thought they were because, I guess we were in our adolescence and we thought we were going through something. But it was always good to have a friend, a true friend, that would uplift me or will uplift each other. And so we were just sitting there, we were laughing about it and talking. And then I told her, I said, girl, we thought we was grown back then. We thought we was doing something. And she said, girl, I know. And we were talking and stuff. I said, but now, you think back on those times, you think about, how we thought we were grown, like I said, and we had those little grown, conversations and everything. And I was telling her, I said, but you know what? That was really amazing, back then. How did we know how to come up with something like that? Like she said, she didn't hear that a lot in her household, and neither did I. But I did hear a lot, when I was a kid. My mom would say to me and my brothers and sisters, and she was like, you know what, maybe like if we fall on the ground or, we get a bad grade on a test in school, and I was like, oh my God, and I felt so, bad, behind it. And my mom was always say, you know what, you're strong, you can get through that, Or she used to say it sometimes, like, oh, what you going around moping around for? You can do this, you strong, just move forward and do better next time. But at that time, it's like, you weren't trying to hear that at that time. Like, man, I got a bad grade on my, English test or my term paper. I needed to pass that, And not to say that she was trying to make me feel worse or anything. She thought she was, really encouraging me, which she was. But at that time, I was young enough. I was younger and I was immature. I didn't want to hear that, I just wanted to, get a better grade. So, but what it did do, it helped me and it pushed me, and it motivated me to the next paper. I made it better because I did more, I put more into it. I put a little bit more, research into it, and I put more time into it. Sometimes we could rush through stuff and just, and rush through it and be like, okay, I'm gonna get a good grade, I'll get a passing grade, and that's it. But however, you know, just hearing those words was really refreshing, like I said. So back to my girlfriend and I, we were talking, you know, and she was telling me, she said, you know what? At that time, she said, yeah, it did feel good to hear a person say, look, you can do this, you can make it, you know, you're strong, okay? And so we were saying, you know, she said, Angie, she's like, you always will tell me, you know, girl, you can make it, go ahead, you can do it, you know, and move forward. And so she was saying, I have never really, you know, had that said to me as a child, as a kid. And she said, you know, she said, but I brought that into my adulthood. And I said, me too. And like I said, and once you know, you get grown, of course, you're going to go through more tribulations, I'll say. And, you know, we're going to go through stuff. So it just taught me to rely first and foremost on God, on my God. And that taught me that, you know, God taught me more about perseverance. That really helped me as well. But I don't feel like I'm strong unless I'm, you know, I have God's strength, okay? And so, and we were talking about that. She said, of course. And I said, I used to hear in my household too, you live and you learn, you know. Experience is the best teacher. I've heard that a lot as well in my home. And I was telling my friend, I said, you know, those words sound harsh to me back then, but as I became more mature and as an adult, it really helped me. And now I look back on those words and I say, wow, those were really some strong, powerful words. But like I said, I don't, you know, I don't know if that defines a strong person versus a weak person. So, and her and I, we talked about it. I said, so what is your take on a weaker person? What is a weak person? And she said, well, you know, I heard back when I was younger that I was a weak person. And I said, why? She said, because, you know, my people always told me, you know, meaning her family or something, would tell her, you know, stop crying. You know, like she said, she's a very emotional person. I said, but by you being an emotional person, does that make you weak? She said, I don't know. At that time, I didn't know. She said, you know, I used to hear my parents say, well, stop all that crying, wipe your tears, and, you know, and just go back at it again, and, you know, you could do better. You just move forward. What you crying, you know, what you crying about? Just wipe your tears and keep moving. And she said she just couldn't understand, like, okay, how do I do that? It's easy for a person to say that, but can you really do it? I say, but still, does that make you a weak person? And she said, you know what? I don't know. But one thing, now, what I was told in my home was a weak person is like a follower. A strong person has their own mind. A weaker person, you know, they're easy to be persuaded. And I didn't understand, you know, when I was younger. Even though I was not like you know, I wasn't easily be persuaded. I don't think I was easily to be influenced. My mother used to always say, you know, I have brothers, and it was one of my brothers that was always, he did it, whatever his friends did. And my mom, she would tell him, she was like, you know, why would you do that? I told you not to do that. You know, you don't want to do what I tell you. You do what your friends tell you. Why do you follow your friends? And my brother was like, I was just doing it because they was doing it. And my mother said, what you mean? So if they tell you to jump in the lake, you going to go jump in the lake with them because your friends tell you to do it? And my brother was like, no, you know. And my mom said, you know, because you're just weak. You need to be strong. You know, stop being so weak-minded. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, wow, as a kid, I'm like, weak-minded? And then I would hear her say stuff like, you need to be like Angie. She not going to go but running up behind nobody and trying to make somebody be her friend and, you know, and being easily be influenced. And so I was like, okay. And that always stayed within me. So me and my girlfriend was talking about that. She said, I remember that. When I used to come to your house, I used to hear your mom saying that, and she'd be fussing at your brothers all the time. And so I'm like, right. And so she was like, I said, you know what, that stayed with me. I said, me and my mom, we talked about that. And she said, every parent knows their children's, they know the weakness and they know their strength. And so she said, she would always tell me stuff like, one thing, you was never a follower, And I started thinking about that. I said, I was telling her, my girlfriend, I said, when I was in high school, I used to see a lot of my friends. We used to hang out in the park and everything. But every time the bell rang, I went to class. And I'm not trying to put myself on no pedestal or nothing. For one thing, I was afraid to ditch school and to ditch classes because my mom was no joke. She would whoop us, So I was more or less scared of my mom and my dad or what they would say or do. So that made me stay in class. And my girlfriends, they would sit out there on the bench and do their thing. And I'm like, okay, I'll see y'all later. And of course, they would call me, oh, you a square. You scared. You don't want to hang with us. You just go ahead, you square. And so I would be like, okay, I'll be a square. And my girlfriend, she was like, see, I was different because I cared about what people said. She said, does that make me strong or weak because I cared about what people said? She was like, my sister, she had a big family. She had a lot of siblings, sisters and brothers. I think it's like 12 of them or something. I don't know. But I remember she was like her older sister. She wanted to be like her older sister and her brother. They would always talk about her like, oh man, you always, you don't never want to hang with us. You always want to go in the house early. See, they used to stay out, 10, 11 o'clock at night. But like she said, I had homework to do and stuff. And I would, go in the house. And she said they'd be in the house whispering about me. So she said she didn't want to feel left out. They made her feel like she was, lonely, or lonely one, or pushed her out of everything. They didn't want her to come along because they said she was like, oh, you just easy, you square. And she said at one time she got tired of them saying that about her. So she said she just, okay, I'm going to do what they do. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to just go ahead and do what they would, she said they would go out and do stuff and steal at stores. And she said one time her sister stole an orange or apple or something. She went and stole the orange or apple and she got caught. They didn't. And she said, wow. She said, she cried and she said her mom, she got in trouble. But the sister didn't get in trouble. She said, wow. So that right there, she said, I had to kind of check myself as a kid and say, well, you know what? How did I get caught? Why would I get a whooping and she didn't? But she said she didn't realize that right there, that was a lesson for her to learn not to follow, not to be a follower. So she said she started, saying, okay, look, I used to be weak, but I'm strong now. I'm not finna listen to what they say because I got a whooping and they didn't, And so it's just kind of funny. So she just kind of like, she said she kind of grew up right then and there. She said, look, I'm not following them no more, And she said that right there taught her to be strong, to be a leader and have charisma and not be a follower and be persuaded, And I guess that's a great way to look at that, strong versus weak, And I just never could get to that, like, what is a weak person? So I looked it up. I'm like an analytical person. I look and I analyze everything. So you can't tell me anything and I'm going to ride with it. I'm going to try to figure this out like, okay, I'm going to see for myself. Let me see what this means. But it was saying something to that effect like a weaker vessel versus a stronger vessel. A weaker person is more or less like a follower. They don't have their own mind. They're not strong enough to make strong decisions or to make their own decisions. It has to be someone else to give them direction. you know, so to speak. So I was like, wow, and then as I was sharing that story with her, you know, and she was like, I understand that. She said, because I was, like I said, she said, I was more like persuaded into doing something. Or, you know, she said, she said, my mind would tell me, no, you know, that's wrong. But because I wanted to fit in or to be liked or to be loved, I did what the other person or other people did just to fit in. But we're gonna see what your take is on that. We're gonna go to a commercial, and we're gonna talk more about what do you think about strong versus weak. Hello everyone, this is Angie E with Tip the Tea. If you or anyone you know in the Chicagoland area and you would like to come out to promote your brand, network, or even if you have an interesting topic you would like us to discuss, come on out and be my special guest. Let's tip the tea. For more details about the show, you can go to my YouTube channel, type in my name, Angela Eskridge, and leave me a comment, and I'll get back with you. And you can also catch up on all the previous episodes. So come on out. Let's tip the tea. I'm Angie E. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Marla Redrick, and I'm with World Financial Group. We're a division of Transamerica World Financial Services.
My name is Jeff King. I'm an associate also with World Financial Group.
And if you're an entrepreneur and you want to talk about your business here with Angie E., she'd be happy to have you as well. Super excited. She's a lot of fun, and you have a great time and get an opportunity to talk about your brand. So come on out, check her out on YouTube. Angie E. on Tip the Tea.
Hello everyone, I'm Carol Coleman. I'm on the set with Tip the Tea with Angie E. If you want to come on as a special guest, leave a comment below. Come on the show with Angie E. and Tip the Tea. Okay. Also, I am a mental health supervisor. If you need any help, if you're just thinking about it, if you're just thinking about a crisis, please call 1-877-964-1245. They can get you all the help you need. Come on. You don't suffer alone.
Hey, I'm Will Sutton, and I'm on Angie E. Tip the Tea. You can check me out on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. at Chicago Sportstown Network, and that is every Tuesday, 2 to 3 p.m. Or you can follow my Facebook page at William H. Sutton III, or you can follow my Instagram at Sutton Sports. That is with a Z and not an S. That is S-U-T-T-O-N, Sports with a Z and not an S.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the show Tip the Tea. I'm Angie E., your host for today. Before we left and went to the commercial break, we were talking about the topic, today's topic, strong versus weak. That means a strong person, a strong woman, a strong man, boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Before we left, we left off at, what is your take about a strong person versus a weaker person? We were talking about my friend perspective. What is your perspective? What is strong versus weak? She talked about her perspective. Her perspective was a stronger person has their own mind. They follow their own path. But a weaker person listens to other people. They let people talk for them. They let people lead them into, you know, wrong things, wrong directions. What is your take on that? What is your comment, or what is your perspective on that? Are you a strong, or do you consider yourself a stronger vessel or a weaker vessel? So hit me up and let me know. I would like for you to just go to my YouTube channel and type in my name, Angela Eskridge, and leave me a comment below. And we're going to talk about it. So let's dive a little bit more into the show. As I was talking about strong versus weak, like I said, as my perspective is, you know, like I said, I just never knew or just kind of agreed with weakness. Weakness, yes, it's an action word, but also being weak does not make you, being a person that's so much as a follower, or you don't know how to make your own decisions. I don't feel like that's weak. That's just my opinion. I just feel like that's just a person that just haven't really found themselves out, too much, or don't know a lot about themselves. But a weaker, you know, like I said, a weaker person, I was told as a kid, now this is when I was a kid, that, yeah, a weaker person, you know, they follow, they're more or less followers and not leaders. You know, you give in to what another person say, even though your mind may say something different or maybe stronger. You know, but on the other hand, to fit in or to feel loved, or, you know, you want to feel wanted, you know, you may go and follow them. I've had another friend of mine, she was telling me, even now as an adult, how her family treated her so bad, and how they would, you know, leave her out, her and her children. They would have family gatherings and stuff like that, and they wouldn't invite her. And so she said that to make herself feel wanted, and she wanted to fit in and to be loved by her family, she would give them money. So she said that, you know, like if her siblings will call her and say, look, I need such and such, so and so. And she said sometimes she won't even have the money. She will go and borrow the money just to give to them so that they can, you know, love her, or, you know, or feel like, or, you know, like she fits in, or, you know, if they would just invite her to places, and just, she said she wanted to be loved by her family, and she wanted to fit in. I mean, you know, I don't think that that's being weak. I don't, you know, I really don't quite know what that is. I just think that she just wanted to feel loved. I don't think that that has anything to do with being weak versus being strong, you know. So, I mean, I just, you know, that's just my perspective on that. And like I said, we would talk all the time, and she, you know, she would tell me, she said, you know, pray for me because I need to learn how to say no. And that's another thing. When you learn, when someone say, I need to learn how to say no, I don't really too much get that, you know. And then again, I won't say that. Yeah, I can, so to speak. You know, sometimes when you don't want to say no, you just don't want to hurt a person's feelings. But that doesn't have anything to do with you being weak, you know. You're just kind of compassionate. I think that's what you call compassion for another person's feelings, or something like that. You just don't want to hurt anyone. I just don't think that that's, you know, just hurting anyone. You know, just you're being weak by not want to hurt someone's feelings. Now, a perspective on being strong, you know, how do you look at that? Like a person being strong, say, you know, I have friends that, especially I have one of my children, they're like aggressive or something. You know, they don't care if they hurt your feelings or not. They say what they say, and they mean what they say, and that's it, that's all. They don't mean that they're strong or mean. They just, I think my perspective on that is just they're being, you know, firm, you know. But some people will call it, oh, they're just being mean, or they don't know how to have compassion for people. Sometimes you just gotta just take people and accept people for who they are or where they are. I don't think that's being strong, because I've heard them say this, I'm just a strong-willed person. I'm just strong. I don't take no mess off nobody, and I say what I say, and that's it, that's all, you know. Okay, well, you know, hey, I just take it with a grain of salt, and I'll be like, okay, that's who they are. You know, people are who they are. I don't say that, and I don't feel like, oh, they're weak, or they're strong, or that's, you know, that's people just who they are. You know, that's just my perspective on that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this next week. On next week's show, we're going to finish this, we're going to continue it, and we're going to talk more about weak versus strong. So one thing we're going to go over, and we're going to see what your perspective is. What is your take on weak versus strong? Go to my YouTube channel and leave me a comment. And we're going to talk about it on next week's show. Okay? All right. So with that being said, we're going to get ready to sign off. I'll see you next week. So if you or anyone you know in the Chicagoland area and you would like to promote your brand, network, or even if you have an interesting topic you would like to discuss, go to my YouTube channel, type in my name, Angela Eskridge, and leave me a comment below. For more details about the show, you can also go to my YouTube channel or CAN TV. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we're going to talk a little bit more about your brand and what you do. Okay? See you next week. We're going to continue this discussion about weak versus strong on next week's show. This is Angie E with Tip the T. See you soon.